Hello everyone, I hope you're well and you're happy. So in this video we're making this functional, beautiful, stunning storage unit or a storage box. This is perfect for toys or perfect for any storage needs that you may have at the house. So please do try this project and let me know down below what your views are on this project. Here's a list of the tools and the materials that you're going to need for this build, and also remember to purchase your hinges as well. And in addition, I use a spray gun for this project. Use a paintbrush if you don't have a spray gun. Get pumped up and let's get ready to build. The first thing that I did for this project was just to prepare the legs of the storage box. So I used a 30 by 80 millimeter pieces. Those are offcuts from the wood that I used. So start with this process so that you can make everything easier for yourself. For the formation of the legs, what I did was just to join the two pieces together until I have 4 equal legs bases. So what I'm doing here is just to do an opening, which is pre-drilling my wood cut so that I'm able to put my screws onto the wood cuts opening so that it's easier for me to screw everything in. So in the next process here, I have longer cuts and also shorter cuts. This is going to form part of my legs. So what I'm doing here is just to join the pieces with the longer parts. So this is the base and the legs of the storage unit. The front legs of the storage box are slightly longer than the back legs of the storage box, so please take note of that. So you just take the 30 millimeter cuts and then just join them together with your front and also your back legs as well, so that you can form the full structures of your legs. Here's another alternative. If you want your storage box to be mobile, you can actually skip this process and then purchase coaster wheels so that you're able to have a unit which is movable as well. Moving on to the next phase of this build, what I'm currently doing is just to open up holes, which is pre-drilling the wood cut so that I don't struggle when I'm putting on the screws. The name of the material that I'm using is plywood. It's a BIRCH plywood. It's a high quality plywood. It's a bit more on the expensive side. You can also get something cheaper as well. So it's an 18 millimeter wood cut that I'm using here. So I'm just putting the pieces together and also putting wood glue so that I'm able to join the pieces together. So what pre-drilling does, it actually makes life easier. So please do pre-drill your wood cuts prior to putting the screws on. The screw size that I'm using here is a 50 millimeter screw size, so this is perfect to join the two pieces together. So also note that I love starting with the top and the bottom so that I make sure that the two sides are securely tightened. Then I'll finish off with the middle part. Repeat the same process for the other side as well, and also remember your wood glue. So the reason we use wood glue is just to reinforce the structure, so it must be strong and also secured as well. For a project like this, especially if you're working alone, I advise that you get wood clamps. So my clamps were not long enough for this process, so do get wood clamps so that you can make everything easier for yourself and you don't have to struggle. Please comment down below and let me know if this is something you want to try, or if this is something that you really need. So comment down below and say, I need this. So moving on to the next phase, basically what I'm doing here is just putting on wood screws. So I've decided to just use black wood screws for this. Those are the only ones that I had, which are about 50 millimeters. So basically, if you pre-drill your wood, you know I'm an advocate of pre-drilling. It makes life easier and you don't have to struggle as well. So you'll see here I'm using clamps. The reason I'm using clamps is because the wood has a tendency of splitting, and it was splitting as I was putting everything together. So I was just putting the wood cuts together so that it must be tight and then it must not split while I'm putting on the screws. Please repeat the same process on the other side as well until the formation of your box is complete. And also, if you're loving the content, please comment down below and let me know. Share these videos with your friends and your family and let everyone start working with their hands. In this phase, what I'm currently doing is just use my tape measure just to measure the distance from the edge of the box up to where I'm gonna put my legs. So the distance that I've measured is about 80 millimeters from the edge of the box to where I'm gonna put my legs. Do the same thing on the other side as well. To put everything together, the size of the screws here, what I'm using is 19 millimeters. The reason I chose 9 millimeters because the 30 millimeters were a bit too long and they were picking on the other side. So the 19 millimeters worked perfectly fine. So moving on to the next phase, now that we're done with the structure and the box of the storage compartment, so what I need to do is just to make sure that I put the base of the storage box. Repeat the same process and put the front legs of the storage box and make sure that they're tight and they're secured as well. Please remember to share this video with your friends and your family and like this video as well. It helps us a lot. The next phase is to drop the base of the storage box and make sure that it's fit perfectly. What I'm currently doing here is just applying wood filler. What wood filler is, it's basically a paste which basically covers all the holes that I've created while I'm putting everything together. So it covers all the holes. The trick is just to make sure that your screws are sitting lying flat and make sure that you're able to use your wood filler to cover everything. Always try to match your wood filler with the paint that you're gonna use at the end. Hang in there, we're nearly done. So now in this phase, I'm just putting on the lid of the storage box. So the lid measurements are listed on below. So it's a bit slightly longer compared to the initial box so that they can overlap on the other side. When you're putting the lid together, just make sure that it's in a straight line position aligned with the front legs of the storage box so that everything must be in a straight line, flush position. In this phase, what I'm currently doing is just to put the hinges together. So the hinges are basically going to hold the box and the lid so that we're able to open the lid perfectly. So this was not the easiest position to be at. So I struggled a bit. Imagine, I struggled a bit putting the hinges together, but it's a very easy process. So just follow along and put the screws in a straight line form, sorry. After you're done fastening your hinges, it's always best that you test out that this unit is working perfectly fine and the hinges are opening smoothly and as perfectly as possible. This part here is one of my favorite parts because you don't have to put as much effort as possible. So this is the sanding process. Basically what I'm doing here just to cleaning up the rough edges and making sure that the final project is nice and smooth. So basically what I normally do on a situation like this, I'm using an electric sander. So the grit sanding paper that I normally start with is the lowest one, which is an 80 grit sanding paper. Then once I'm done, maybe about 10 minutes later, so I move on to the higher grit sanding paper, which is just like to wrap up the entire sanding process to smoothen out the final edges, and I'm using the 180 grit sanding paper. If you don't have an electric sander, you can always use a block of sander, which is also convenient as well. In this phase, we're moving on to the painting or the staining of your project. So choose whatever paint is best for you. So I decided to choose white because I wanted something light and bright. So I'm using a spray gun. If you don't have a spray gun, also go ahead and use your normal paintbrush and just to paint your final project to its final completion. So the spray gun that I'm using is battery operated, so it was so convenient. It was very quick for me to paint, and I actually enjoy the process because it was actually my first time using a battery operated spray gun. The name of the chalk paint that I'm using is by Harlequins Paint. It's a normal white, aged white paint. It's perfect. I love the consistency. You will not believe that I only did one coat on the final project. That's how amazing the paint is. And also, once you're done painting, also remember to seal your final project with the Easy Seal by Harlequins Paint as well. This is how the final storage box is looking. It's nice, it's crisp, it's beautiful. I love this project. So what I'm currently doing here is just to put hydraulic hinges for the lid of the storage box. So this is very important, especially if you're going to use it for toys for kids, so that they don't hurt themselves. So this basically helps the lid of the box to stay upright. So I managed to install it in such a way that the lid opens up to a 45-degree angle, so that you're able to put in your toys or whatever you want to put in for the storage box. So buy two of this. I only had one at that moment, so buy two of them so that they can support both sides for the left and the right hand side of the storage box. I added a fun feature to the storage box, which was beautiful stickers, which is best for kids because I'm going to use my storage box for toys. So depending on what you want to use your storage box for, decorate it, make it nice, make it beautiful. To be honest with you, I really needed this project. This is one of the most important projects for me because I was tired of toys lying around in the house. I needed a bit something which is functional. So to be honest, I love this project. You know, I always say it, but I love how it turns out. I love the functionality of it, and thank you so much for staying this far and enjoying all my postings and all my videos that I do. Please do try this project. This is something that you really need. You don't have to use it for toys only. You can use it for blankets, you can use it for books. So this is a perfect additional storage for your house. I love this project. This is beautiful, this is functional. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I really appreciate your love and your support. Share this video with your friends and your family, and until next time, bye.